Hi there, welcome to another Friday Findings video. If you've ever been frustrated by the thought of having to string on a whole bunch of little tiny seed beads, I have a tool that you just might find helpful. And it's this. I have two of them here, two different brands. It's called a bead spinner, and let me show you how it works. So let me first show you this one, which is battery operated. It's made by Doris, and you have a little bead bowl with a cover, and it actually comes with 3 of these, which is handy for storing your projects. It also comes with 2 big eye needles, and what a big eye needle is it's basically all eye. It's 2 pieces of wire that are fused together at the 2 ends, and so it's very easy to thread, and it's curved, and you'll see why that's important. So what you need to do before you use your bead spinner is, of course, fill it with beads, and you need to fill it with a fair amount of beads. In this case, you really need to have more beads than you need in your project, because in order for this to work as efficiently as it can, it needs to be at least 1/3 to 1/2 full. Now, like I said, this is battery operated, so you can spin it clockwise or counterclockwise. Now, some folks might think this is a plus. For me, sounds irritate me. And my son will tell you drumming his fingers for 15 seconds will drive me crazy. Actually, it only takes about 5 seconds. Loud ticking clocks make me nuts. So this noise, I really couldn't take it for long. I certainly couldn't spend an enjoyable time stringing beads with this sound. But if you're not like that and it doesn't bother you, then you may enjoy having it spin itself for you. Like I said, it comes with these 2 big eye curved needles, and the idea is that you put the needle in the bowl while it's spinning, just skimming the top of the beads. Now you can place it this way, or you can hold it this way. You can hold it towards the back. I've seen it done many different ways, but let me show you. Oh, there's a few. So we have a few beads on the needle. Now, I watched several videos on YouTube to see what I was doing wrong, because it seemed like it should be a whole lot less work than this. And what I noticed while watching them was that their needles were curved differently. This one's curved more like a fish hook. It was curved even more like a fish hook when I got it out of the package. I've modified it a little bit. So that's something to keep in mind. The needles from the other brand that I'll show you in a minute, and you'll see how much better they work, are shaped more, are shaped more like an L than like a fish hook or a J. So you may need to modify your needles a little bit. So this is a great tool if you like the containers for storing your beads and you like the battery operating and the noise doesn't bother you or anybody in the area. You may need to get more needles because these break pretty easily. This broke after not many inches of stringing at all, and you may need to modify the tips of your needles. So now let me move on to this one. This is called the Spin and String, and it's by Beadsmith, and I'm just going to transfer these beads to this one. And rather than being battery operated, this one you just spin yourself, which I found really was no hardship. Like I said, the noise kind of bothered me. I was happy to sit and spin. And you could see this one works much better than the other one. In just a few seconds, I've got an 1.5 inches of beads on here. So you could see that it goes very quickly. And you just spin it, and you don't have to continually spin it. You can spin it and then let it go for a bit. And the practice that you need is just getting your needle in the right place in the bowl. Now the problem with these needles, they're much easier to use. They're more rigid, they don't flop around, and of course they've got just a better shape for the job. But they are a little big for small beads. These are 6 O's, which means 6 of them will take up 1 inch. But if you want to work with the really tiny beads, like the 10s or 11s or 15s, they won't go over the end of this eye. So you may need to do some experimenting. One thing I did was I got a package of, these are also big eye needles, and I used a pair of pliers and modified them. And this works pretty well, except it's a little short. These are 2.5, so you want probably at least 4-inch needles. And then just use a pair of like round pliers. And then this works well. Like I said, it's just kind of a pain to hold because it's short. You know, I tried these ones, the flexible beading needles that were nice and long, but they're way too flimsy. So you may have to do some experimenting if you want to use small beads. For these 6/0s though, the Spin and String by Bead Smith works great. You can see that you can get a whole bunch of beads on there very quickly. And it will save you a lot of time in your beadwork. I also like the fact that this one's just a little bit more attractive to look at sitting out on my table, and it actually takes up quite a bit less space. So if you like to string beads, you may consider getting yourself a bead spinner. If you loved this video, please make sure you've subscribed to my YouTube channel so you'll see more like it, and check out my blog keepsakecrafts.net, where I have lots more creative ideas and inspiration. Also up on the screen are a couple jewelry making videos you may enjoy. Happy creating. Bye-bye.